Part 18, just continuing about Mr. Elliot for a little while. So he was at Cuddenbeath, which is an old episcopal palace built in the 10th century for the Bishop of Cornwall, which was on a hilltop overlooking the Tiddy, a tributary of the Tamar. From there, he would have seen the old Norman church and Augustinian priory, which, long story short, became Port Elliot. The next line is, and feet kicking the empty wineskins. So empty wineskins, raisins, grapes, vines, that sort of thing. So making wine, you know, when you step on grapes. Ooh, I could crush a grape. So there's sexual references with feet as a euphemism. And I thought the reference to six up above is because German is sex for six. So this could be related to ritualistically, not even ritualistically, how you make a baby normally if you're not a virgin. So there's a little bit of information about wine, etc. throughout the book. But one part was vaguely interesting, Valley of the Air, because also that links to air as in the element. And it's mentioned previously pink wine in the areas they didn't allow fermentation, but then it changed to French practice, and so now it's dark red, which made me think of blood as well. And obviously all this wine talks is Dionysus's bag. But there was no information, and so we continued. So I said before, no news, no information. And there's lots of places that begin like newer, new. And there was also Noviant. In the Middle Age, the village was divided into two hamlets, Leitra and Le Cloitre on the Gore stream, the stronghold of the Abbey of Gortz. The village had a fortified castle with 4 towers, much like Plymouth. It was plundered and devastated in 1432. And in 1887, Noviant was the setting for the Chernobyl affair, an espionage case involving General Boulanger, which I didn't go too much in because it's just too many wormholes, except that there was something to do with, he was promoted to commander of the Legion of Honour in 1871, but then other people within the ranks were not happy that he'd been promoted so quickly. And so he then plunged into a cold rage, he needed a feeling of revenge. And that made me think of a cold coming we had of it right at the beginning. And arrived at evening, not a moment too soon. I wasn't sure about that, except that we arrived on time, so maybe could relate to a clock, maybe a water clock. Finding the place, it was, you may say, satisfactory. So there's a reference in the book to a satisfactory survey of the battlefields in Metz. So that could be another link to that Mars Latour. All this was a long time ago. I remember there's a memorial bench called Denkmals Bank. The only thing that comes to mind there is that he allegedly worked at a bank, didn't he, Elliot? And I would do it again, but set down. So set as in ancient Egypt relates to Arad Dry, so maybe that fountain again. When I was looking at some of the hieroglyphics, Dada is fountain, to give water. It also means council authority or death court. It also could mean spirit, right? And looking for the word set in Baedeker, I'll continue over leaf.